Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DiChiara, CPA extraordinaire, coming to you live from downtown Metro Manila for the premiere of a new series called Learn to Earn. And each day I'm going to give you a business tip or a tax tip or a marketing tip based on my uh, 20 plus years of being an entrepreneur, 40 plus years of being an accountant, over 35 years as a CPA. So it might be hard to believe, but I got a lot of knowledge and experience up there, and I want to share it with all of you, especially sole proprietors, uh, which is the worst way to be structured as a business owner, existing small business owners, and anyone out there that may be thinking about starting their own business. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, I'm an entrepreneur actually with the CPA license, and what that means is I've started and failed many different types of businesses. I'm on my fourth different type of accounting firm. So yes, you can be an accountant, but don't put all accountants in one bucket. Just because you're an accountant doesn't mean that you know how to do taxes, or I don't know how to do auditing. I never liked auditing. I had to do auditing for 2 years to get my CPA license. But as soon as I got the license, I stopped working for firms that do audits. So I specialize in startups, people that are just starting a business, people that have no idea what they're supposed to do. They don't know what they don't know, and those types of people are the ones that get into trouble. So if you're a sole proprietor, if you're a solopreneur, even if you're an LLC thinking that you're structured properly, you probably aren't, which is a whole nother story. I'll do a video on the pitfalls of being an LLC. Why not everybody should be an LLC. Uh, but today the topic is start with why. Start with why. And I learned about this concept through a YouTube video done by Simon Sinek. I put the link in the chat, and I welcome you. I invite you to watch it. It's one of the most watched. I think it's the third most watched YouTube video out there, which is that's a lot. There's probably millions at this point, probably millions of YouTube videos. So to be number three is he hit a nerve. He hit a nerve. So what does and if you're watching live, I would appreciate if you put a hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching the replay, you give me a hashtag replay. Uh, and if you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me, feel free to post your question. And what happens is the beauty of technology, every time you post anything, if you post a question in the chat, I get notifications. So also, I'd like to invite you, if you have any questions, comments about business, feel free to book a chat with me. Just put in the notes that you watched my video about blah blah blah, and I'll be glad to connect with you. So let's get down to why. What is start with why? So everybody has heard the term follow your passion and the money will follow. Well, that's not always true. That's not always true. Uh, let me take you back to something I learned a long, long time ago. We're going back, 30, 35 years ago when I first started getting clients. So, like most people, what I would do was meet with the prospect and try to impress them with my tax and accounting knowledge. I would, tell them things like, oh, if you put this amount of money in an IRA, you're going to save this amount of taxes. And, based on your income tax bracket, you're going to save this amount. And over the long term, it's going to compound, your return. And by the time you retire, you're going to be worth millions and millions of dollars. Well, guess what? It went in one ear and out the other. I didn't realize this at the time, but people didn't care about the knowledge, the information. Okay, what people cared about was that I was going to have their back. So my pitch quickly became, listen, and their biggest fear, okay, and this, we're going to talk about this in tomorrow's session. Their biggest fear was getting called to the IRS that they were going to be audited. A secondary fear was that they were going to get some kind of tax notice, which they would have no idea what to do with. So the fear is getting audited. They're going to get some kind of question about their taxes. And what they wanted to know was, are you going to have my back? Are you going to have my back? So what that taught me is people don't make decisions based on their brain. Human beings are very strange animals, okay? How do we make decisions? It's not based on our logic. It's based on how we feel. And I want to say hi to Myrna. Thank you for supporting me. And I know you're not clocked in now, so I know you're doing this on your own time, so I appreciate that. So later, so that was just based on a feeling that I had. I said, you know what? People aren't even paying attention to my brilliant tax strategies. They're not paying attention. They don't care. And it's not really that they didn't care, but the knowledge, the information, they were probably saying to themselves, this is his job. All I want to know is, if I have a question, is he going to be available? That was another thing, availability. If I get into trouble, will he be there for me? So I realized early on that, you know what, people don't care about the tax strategies, the numbers. What I found out later was most people are afraid of numbers. Numbers scare them. The only people that numbers don't scare are people like accountants, actuaries, financial people are that are in the numbers business. But the average person, the average business owner, believe it or not, they don't want to go near the numbers. That they want somebody like me that they can go to if they have a question, if there's a problem. Later on, it was shown to me scientifically how people actually make decisions. And that brings me to this video, Start With Why. So what Simon Sinek discovered was people don't make decisions based on what we do. And that's what most entrepreneurs, that's the mistake that people make. I've made it for decades. I spent a fortune on advertising, on marketing, on websites, trying to impress people with what we do. Okay. Even my website now, when I think about it, it says, never fear an IRS audit again. And from a marketing standpoint, a lot of people would say, yeah, that's a good message. That's a good message because you're going right to people's fear, right to their pain point. But as a subtitle, as a subcategory, I need to put up there my why. My why. And my why, Bedrock's why, is to empower small business owners, team members, and our community in general to live a life of significance. That's what I want for my team members, for our clients. Now, what that means to each individual person is going to be different. What does that mean to live a life of significance? It could mean that I want to be there for my children. I want to raise them to be good people. I want to raise them to be professionals. I want to raise them to be independent. Or your why could be, I want to change the world. I want to save humanity from itself. That's what Elon Musk's why is. He actually wants to save humanity. Believe it or not, that's why he started SpaceX. He believes that our planet is doomed, and the answer is to go out to other planets. God bless him. God bless him. I don't know if that's true, based on science and what all these other people are saying. Yeah, we're not going to. If you think about it, at some point, the sun is going to run out of energy. So it doesn't matter which planet you're on in the solar system. But that's his why. That's his why. So everybody should have their why. Everybody should have their why. And these are some of the examples that Simon uses in his video. He said, why do people buy Apple computers? They're more expensive. And if you're an Apple person, I apologize because I know Apple people, it's like a cult. It's like a cult. And this is exactly Simon's point. Why do they buy Apple? It's more expensive. You don't have as many programs. Okay. It's not as fast as a PC. Now, Apple people are probably going to disagree with me, but this is a fact. Okay, more expensive, not as many programs, and it's not as fast as a PC. So why would somebody buy an Apple? Because Apple's why is to, and I don't remember exactly, but Steve Jobs' vision was, we're not about the status quo. We're gonna basically what Steve Jobs' why was to make computers cool. Okay, just for instance, the fonts. He said, he took a calligraphy class in college. And the calligraphy class he saw all these different fonts, and he said, why can't the computer produce fonts like that? Why can't the computer be cool? So before Apple, a computer person was a computer geek. He made Apple cool for people. That was his why. So people that wanted to be outside the box, that wanted to be different, they gravitated towards Apple. Then he uses the example of, so Why were people comfortable buying an iPod from Apple? They're not a music company. Why are people comfortable buying a phone from Apple? They're not a phone company. There's other companies that are positioned to make phones, to make music players, but they're not Apple. See, so Apple resonates with people in their heart, in their heart. So that's enough for today's lesson. That we're at the 15-minute mark. Watch the video. Like I said, I invite you to book a chat with me. If you have business questions, if you want to know about relationship or raising children, I'm not your guy. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. God bless, and I'm looking forward to doing this on a daily basis. Thank you.